Yeah, I don't know what that's about, Kendra. I'll be back in a minute. I just want to get the stream up.
Okay.
Okay, that should be going the way we want it to. Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Well, if it's not going to change, you need to let the rabbi know I won't be able to see her. I'll just be able to hopefully hear her.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to see if I can see something at this end.
Yeah.
No, you should be you should be fine. I don't know what that's about. Let me just come down and see if I can see. Cantor can see and can hear you, but all he can see is him. And I'm just thinking it needs to be a wrong set. Remind me if I do this again next year, we're suspenders. Let's turn the volume on. Let's turn that off. Okay. Yeah, that's what. How do we turn the mic off?
The button in front of the rabbi.
Okay. Yeah, Cantor, can you hear me? I can't hear. Cantor, can you say something? Oh, wait a minute. It's connecting to audio. This audio is taking forever to connect.
Just like to tell you that if whatever
was it?
I think so.
Okay, don't want to press anything mistakenly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Should be good to go.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back, everyone. Gmar Chatima Tova. We begin this evening service with Yizkor, and we begin with our reading at the beginning of our Yizkor packet. When Yizkor is recited, we affirm our love of those so near and dear who have physically left us. Our love, however, does not rest on physical being. It is deeper than that. When we love the inner being of the beloved, the quality that makes for uniqueness, the spirit that ceases personality and character, that does not ever disappear. It remains with us as long as we live. Time eases the pain of the loss, but does not erode the affection and emotions we feel for the one who no longer moves about in our midst. We know that whatever lives someday must die. That, however, is true only of the material world. The spiritual can endure forever. When we lose one who is dear, we mourn, but we must not mourn excessively. We must be grateful for what we have had and find comfort in our memories. We must continue the task of living, paying tribute to our departed by contributing to the lives of others. We continue with the song Tribute, also in the Yizkor packet. I invite Cantor Funk to lead us.
Oh, the man was not a saint because no mortal man could be. But the man, he was the kind I've tried so very hard to be. For he said it does not matter what you earn or where you live. For a man he is remembered by the way that he would give. And the man he was a giver, and he gave with all his heart. But it pained him so to take because he loved the giving part. So I give to you, my Father dear, in sad memoriam, that this man, he is a better man for knowing he's your son. Yitkadav v'yitkadash Shemei Shemei Rabbah. Sanctified and hallowed is his kingdom over us all. Oseh shalom bimromav, Yaseh shalom, aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, name be praised and acclaimed, for now and evermore. Yehi Shmei Rabba, Mevorach le'olam u'olmei. So I give to you, my Father dear, in sad memoriam, that this man, he is a better man for knowing he's your son. Adonai modam v'tedoehu ben enosh v'techashvehu ben enosh v'techashvehu Adam lahevel dama yamav katzel over baboker yatzitz v'chalav la'erev yimolel v'yavesh Tashev enosh adaka v'tomer shuvu v'nei adam.
And we continue on page 572. We remember them. At the rising of the sun and at its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the shining of the sun and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. At the rustling of the leaves and the beauty of autumn, we remember them. At the beginning of the year and at its end, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joy we crave to share, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. I invite you to say your Yizkor prayers on page 573, 574, or 575. I invite you to say prayers for anyone you're praying for this Yizkor, and we will meet again for El Malei Rachamim on 576. And we continue on page 576 with El Malei Rachamim.
Emole rachamim shochein b'meromim. Hametzei menucha nechona tachat kanfei hashechina b'malot kroshim utehorim kezor harakia mazahirim and nishmot kol ele shezkarnu hayom leveracha Ana barachamim tastirem b'seite krafecha leolamim v'tzitzuror b'sroach chaim enishmotehem v'yanuchol mishkavotam v'shalom v'nomar amen.
And we continue with Psalm 23, Mizmor LeDavid, on page 577.
Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai rawi lo echzar, b'nohot asher bitzeini, amei menuchot yenahaleni, nafshi yishovev, nafshi yishovev. Yancheni b'maglei tzedek leman shemo gam ki elech b'geit salmavet lo irara ki ata imadi shiftecha umishantecha hema hema yenachamuni taharoch lefanai shulchan neged sorerai dishanta vashemen roshi kosi revaya Achtov achesed irdefuni kol yemei chayai Achtov achesed irdefuni kol yemei chayai v'shavti b'veit Adonai leorech yamim.
And we continue with the Mourner's Kaddish on 578. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divra chirute ve'amlich malchute v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael v'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'omei omaya Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh V'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela, le'ela, mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma ve'imru, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, ve'chaim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. We close Yizkor with a poem. I invite Leni Glickman to share the poem with us tonight.
Life After Death by Laura Gilpin. These things I know, how the living go on living, and how the dead go on living with them, so that in a forest, even a dead tree casts a shadow, and the leaves fall one by one, and the branches break in the wind, and the bark peels off slowly, and the trunk cracks, and the rain seeps in through the cracks, and the trunk falls to the ground, and the moss covers it, and in the spring the rabbits find it and build their nest inside the dead tree, so that nothing is wasted in nature or in love.
Thank you. We transition into Neilah now, and we have nearly reached the end of Yom Kippur. This is a very intense moment. We're tired, we're hungry, and we've worked hard. This moment is the culmination of hours of self-reflection and prayer, of sitting with our struggles and our hopes, of taking stock of how we've stumbled and how we've succeeded, of keeping our hearts open, of bravely committing to new ways of being. This has been very hard work. And we have now reached the moment that the gates are closing, the gates of heaven, the gates of access to our own hearts. And it is in this final moment that we really decide what kind of lives we will lead, what kind of community and world we will reach for. On Yom Kippur afternoon, we read the book of Jonah, and the words of the captain of the ship that Jonah boards to run away from God ring loudly in our ears right now. We are hovering between life and death, and you, Jonah, are asleep. Arise and cry out to your God. The seas are raging. The ship is caught in mighty winds and is about to break. And Jonah, in the anguish of his soul, descends to the hold of the ship. He withdraws from himself, from his own depths, from his own fears. As Bible scholar Aviva Zornberg notes, the captain and sailors understand something that Jonah is unwilling to see, that to withdraw is not simply absurd, but spells disaster amidst crashing waves and breaking ships. In these last moments of Yom Kippur, we are urged to rise to the challenges of our lives, to the challenges of this moment in our world. May we be blessed with the strength and courage to meet ourselves and to meet this moment with tenacity, imagination, and hope. Our lives and our world depend on it. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 766.
Yitkadav, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbo, Hai, Be'alma divra chirutei, Be'amlich machutei, B'chai echol, U'yom echol, ובחיי כל בן ישראל, היי, בגולה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, היי, לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, היי, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לילה לילה מכל ברכתו ושירתו, היי, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן ויאמה ואמרו amen.
We continue with the Amidah, which we find on the back cover of our Machzor.
Baruch atah Adonai, Hai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Hoel Hagadol, Hagibor Bararol Elyon, Hai, Gomel Chasadim, Tovim Ukonei HaKol, V'zocher Chazdei Avot, Umevii Goel Livnei B'neihem, Hai, L'man Shemo B'Yahava, Zachrenu L'chaim, Melech Hafetz B'chaim, V'chatmenu b'Sefer HaChaim, V'chadmenu b'Sefer HaChaim, L'mancha Elohim Chaim, Melech Ozer V'Oker Moshiach Mogen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ufoket Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei metim ata rav lehoshia, mechalkel chayim b'chesed, mechayei metim berachamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofei cholim, umatir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך ברחמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים.
We'll continue in a moment with the Kedusha on page 778. I'm going to go ahead and open the ark before we do the Kedusha.
נריצך ונקדישך כסוד שיח שרפי קודש. המקדישים שמך בקודש, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. כבודו מלא עולם, משור טוב שואלים זה לזה, היה מקום כבודו, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו הוא יפן ברחמים, ויחונם המייחדים שמו. ערב ובוקר בכל יום תמיד, פעמיים באהבה שמה אומרים, שמה ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו, והוא ישמיענו ורחמיו שנית לעיני כל חי, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדיר אדירנו, אדוני אדוננו, מדיר שמך בכל הארץ, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ודברי גשגה כתוב לאמור, ימלוך אדוני עולם אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גדלך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גדלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גדלך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גדלך, כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה.
And we continue on page 784. O keep open for us your gate of mercy at the time of the closing of the gate, now that the day is waning. The day is passing, the sun is setting. O let us enter your gate at last. O God, we beseech you, forgive, pardon, take pity. Grant us atonement, subdue our sin and iniquity. Page 787. O God, our sovereign, enthroned in mercy, you rule with loving kindness. You pardon your people's transgressions, forgiving them again and again. You are generous in forgiveness to sinners. You deal mercifully with all creatures, not according to the evil of their deeds. Lord, you taught us through the humble one, Moses, to recite your 13 attributes of mercy. Remember, as you judge us, the covenant of mercy which you then revealed. Thus it is written in your Torah, the Lord descended in a cloud, and Moses was with the Lord there and proclaimed the name of the Lord.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Hapayim, V'Rav Chesed v'Emet, Notzer Chesed l'Alafim, Nosei Avon v'Fesha, V'chata v'nakeh, v'salachta l'avoneinu, u'l'chatateinu, u'nechaltanu. Salach lanu avinu, ki chatanu, mechalanu malkeinu, ki fashashanu, Ki atah Adonai tov v'salach, Ki atah Adonai tov v'salach, v'rav chesed l'chol korecha, v'rav chesed
Forgive us, our Lord, for we have sinned. Pardon us, our sovereign, for we have transgressed. For you, O Lord, generously forgive. Great is your love for all who call upon you. We continue with Ki Anu Amcha on page 790.
Ki anu amecha v'ata Eloheinu, anu vonecha v'ata avinu, anu avodecha v'ata Adoneinu, anu ke'alecha v'ata chelkeinu, Anu nachlatecha v'ata goraleinu, Anu tzonecha v'ata roeinu, Anu charmecha v'ata notreinu, Anu filatecha v'ata yotzreinu, Anu rayatecha v'ata dodeinu, Anu segulatecha v'ata kroveinu, Anu amecha v'ata malkeinu, Anu mamirecha v'ata Ata Mamirenu.
Our God and God of our ancestors, may our prayers come before you, and may you not ignore our pleas. We are neither so arrogant nor so stubborn as to declare that we are righteous and have not sinned, for indeed we have sinned. We continue with our last confession, the Ashamnu, on 792.
Ay, 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 ay. Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Dofi. Hevinu, Vahirshanu, Zadnu, Chamasnu, Tafalnu, Sheker. Ay, 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 ay. Yatsnu ra, Kizavnu, Latsnu Moradnu, Niatsnu, Sararnu, Avinu, Pashanu, Tsararnu, Kishinu Oref. Ay, 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 ay. Rashanu, Shichanu, Tiavnu, Tainu, Titanu.
We have just confessed our transgressions from the year that has passed. And as we walk through the gates into this next year, we commit to a different way of being. To help us ground in this different way of being, I want to offer a modern prayer from Rabbi Jeremy Schwartz, which is modeled after the Ashamnu. And as I chant this prayer, I invite you to again bring your hand to your heart and give it a gentle knock after each phrase. But this time, as you may have noticed I do, I want to invite you to use an open hand rather than a fist to encourage your heart to open to the best of who you can be. Nai, 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 ya, nai, 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 ya, nai, 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 nai. We will love, we will bless, we will do caring deeds, we will speak truth, we will beautify, we will cherish one another, we will nourish, we will be empathetic, we will do good, we will unite the name of being, we will honor, we will learn and teach, we will be forgiving, we will give comfort, we will forgive, we will help, we will redeem, we will vote, we will call out for justice, we will pursue peace, we will liberate, we will strengthen one another, we will set right, we will be set aright. Yai nai 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 nai, yai nai 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 nai, I nai 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 nai. We continue on page 801. Avinu Malkeinu, remember your compassion and suppress your anger. Remove from us and from all the people of your covenant pestilence and sword, famine and plundering, destruction and iniquity, persecution, plague and affliction. Every disease and disaster, all strife and calamity, every evil decree and causeless hatred, seal all the children of your covenant for a good life. We continue on page 800 in the middle of the page.
V'yaklam yitbarach v'dramam, Shimcha Malkeinu, Tamid le'olam va'ed. V'chatom l'chaim tovim, Kol b'nei beritecha. V'chol achim yaducha sela, V'yalelu et Shimcha be'emet. Hoel Yeshuateinu v'Yezratenu sela. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha l'chano elehodot.
We continue on page 803. In the book of life and blessing, peace and prosperity, may we and all your people, the house of Israel, be sealed for a good and peaceful life. We continue with Avinu Malkeinu on page 806.
Avinu Malkeinu chatanu levanecha, Avinu Malkeinu ein lanu melech elota.
And we pick up at the bottom of the page.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, V'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, V'hoshienu.
And we continue with Kaddish Shalem on page 808.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, Amen. Yom adivra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman koriv v'yimeru, yimeru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Olam Eomaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitale V'yitalal Shmei de Kudisha, Shmei de Kudisha, B'richu, Leila, Leila, Mikal Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Damiran B'yalma, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Damiran B'yalma, V'yimeru, Yimeru, Amen. Titkabel tzorhon uvaorhon b'chol Yisrael korom avon divishmaya v'yimeru v'yimeru amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabbo min Shemaya v'chaim v'chaim Aleinu Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromov, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, aleinu, v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimeru, yimeru,
And we'll continue with Maariv, which we begin with on page 810. Vehu rachum yechaper avon velo yashchit, vehirba lo shiva po velo yair kol chamato. Adonai Hoshia hamelech ya'anenu veyom korenu. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. We continue individually. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch at Adonai hamariv aravim. We'll continue then the next page, 812, with the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And we continue individually. Adonai Elohechem Emet. And we continue on page 814. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם, משה ובני ישראל לחיינו שירה, בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו ובניך בוקעם לפני משה, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Yisrael. And we continue on page 816. Yizkor David Kadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra kirutei v'emlik malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayetechol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam umei omaya, yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yinaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei Tekudsha B'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. We continue with the Amidah, which we do individually. We are on page 818, and we go until 821. I invite you to say the words on the page or the words in your heart. We continue with Kaddish Shalem on page 822. Yizkor David Kadash Shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra kirutei v'emlik malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayetechol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam U'Mei Omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yinaseh. Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dekudusha B'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Yishbachata v'nechemata. Damiran v'alma v'imru. Amen. Titkabal Soton v'avchon Dechol Yisrael. Kodem avuhan divishmai v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. We'll continue with Havdalah, which we find on page 800. I'm sorry, I skipped something. We continue with the Aleinu, which we find on page 824. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol. We continue individually. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shamo echad. And we continue with the Mourner's Kaddish, which we find on page 826. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit if you are commemorating a yortzeit or if you are in mourning. This week, we as a community are commemorating the yortzeits of Bertha DeSatnik, mother of Steve DeSatnik, Lillian Schachter, grandmother of Aaron Schachter, Mary Berger, grandmother of Leni Glickman, Sam Goldblatt, uncle of Sherry Goldman, and Sophie Daubert, great-grandmother of Nikki Glick. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hiruteh, ve'amlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam U'Omei Omaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitramam ve'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dekudusha B'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'imru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. We'll now go ahead and move on to Havdalah. First, I'm going to close the ark. And we continue with Havdalah on page 823. Yai nai 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 yai nai 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 yai nai 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 yai nai 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 Hananai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen yananai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh yananai Hai nai 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lecho ben or lechoshech ben Yisrael le'amim ben yom hashvi l'sheshet yemei hamaseh Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh lecho. We are about to hear very soon our final shofar blast. And in anticipation of that, I want to offer a final few words in prayer. May the cry of the shofar shatter our complacency. May the cry of the shofar penetrate our souls. May the cry of the shofar break the bonds of all that enslaves us. May the cry of the shofar destroy the idols we have placed at the forefront of our lives. May the cry of the shofar awaken us to how we have sinned. May the cry of the shofar summon us to a life of responsibility. May the cry of the shofar elicit the response, "Here I am." May the cry of the shofar remind us that we can be instruments of redemption. May the cry of the shofar penetrate our hearts. May the cry of the shofar bring blessing to us, the people who hear its call. Gmar Chatima Tova, everybody. May you have all been sealed in the book of life. Thank you for being here. And we wish you a wonderful, happy, joyful, and healthy year ahead.